Hi, thank you for listening my video clips. And today I am coming with one topic, and that topic is scope of pharmacy professor. And I think you like this video. Uh, mm, Generally talking about the scope of the pharmacy profession, there will be different domains, and in every domain there will be scope. And if you see the slide that I am here presenting you, you will see the academia and practice and research and regulations. If you stare at the slide again, and you will see some relationship, right? There is relationship between the academics and the practice. Once you will be in the academics, the product of academics, the students, right? Students will go to the practice area. They will practice the profession, and they will gain knowledge about the profession while practice, which will generate the theories and all these things, new ideas, and which will be picked up by the research and supplemented to the academics. And again, this cycle will go on, but at the top of the all, there is regulation, which will regulate the academics and regulate the practice, regulate the research. So all these four domains are interrelated. However, over here, again, still talk about the academics, the scopes in academics. What will be the scope? The general idea is that you can be a lecturer, you can be a tutor, you can be an assistant professor or professor, whatever it is. You can teach a diploma pharmacy, B.Pharm, M.Pharm, PharmD, and PhD. There are different types of academic programs running, and you can work as the lecturer, assistant professor, as I told, right? Okay, and in the practice area, that will be the pharmacy profession. The practice area is clearly industrial pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, community pharmacy, and clinical pharmacy. What does industrial pharmacy really means? Industrial pharmacy means the manufacturing, production, large scale production of the medicines and quality control of the same, right? So thus, basically, large scale manufacturing or production and quality control of the medicine takes place in the industry, and you will be an industrial pharmacist doing that. Not only this, in industrial pharmacy, you will also be involved in the research and development activities and marketing of the medicines, marketing and distribution of medicine. So these activities will happen in the industries, and you will be having a scope. And again, talking about the hospital pharmacy, what will be the hospital pharmacy means? Hospital pharmacy, generally the pharmacy in the hospital, and it is one of the important department of the hospital. Like other departments, it is one of the department, and there is a lot of scopes in this department. You will utilize your knowledge, right? You will utilize your knowledge while you have studied in the pharmacy course in this department. I mean, in the hospital pharmacy generally means that overall supply of the medicines to the particular hospital, and there will be no overstock, and there will be no shortage of the medicine at a particular period of time, right? I mean, this in hospital pharmacy, you will be involved in the activities like procurement of the medicines, right? Selection of the medicines, procurement of the medicines, ordering of the medicines, and the receiving of the medicine, storage of the medicines, and dispensing of the medicines to the outpatients, and the distribution of the medicine to the wards, and sometimes the complaint handling and expiry checking, and adverse drug reaction reporting, and drug information, and patient counseling. All these things will be involved sometime in the manufacturing the medicine in a small scale, like sterile and non-sterile preparation will also involved in the hospital pharmacy. So there are a lot of scope in the hospital pharmacy area, and a lot of things to do in Nepal to develop this profession. Uh, uh, and another setup for the practice is the community pharmacy. Community pharmacy and hospital pharmacy is entirely different. Community pharmacy means that pharmacy for the community, not in hospital, right? There is no obligatory to put a lot of medicines. There is no mandatory to like hospital. In hospital there is mandatory that all the medicine has to stock in the hospital for particular period of time, for a particular supply and all these things. But in community pharmacy it is flexible on that matter. It is especially focusing on the long-term chronic disease medicines. Let's say about the asthma, hypertension, diabetes and all. The patient will take the follow-up medicine in the community pharmacy, and there is a lot of opportunities for a pharmacist to counsel and interact with the patient and provide community pharmacy services. And you can be an entrepreneur by opening the community pharmacies. You can do your own business, right? And depending on the business size, you can increase. And another thing is that you can open the chain pharmacies, community chain pharmacies. So there are a lot of huge scope of the community pharmacy as well. And the next one is the clinical pharmacy. Clinical pharmacy is the pharmacy which is involved in the patient care. Patient care means like nursing care and medical care. The pharmacist will provide the care and is especially focusing to identify the drug related problems, medicine related problems, and to solve this. Like drug interaction, adverse drug reactions, and compliance, and all these things, So this is the practice related scopes of the pharmacy. Again, talking about the research and the regulatory aspects. I'll be talking one by one. Then in the research, we will have a clinical trial and preclinical trial and clinical. So we're talking about the research. In the research section, we'll talk. There are a lot of scope for the pharmacy. Pharmacist can work as a research pharmacist. Pharmacist can conduct the preclinical trials and clinical trials and post-clinical trials, also known as the pharmacoepidemiological research. And preclinical trials basically means that testing of the activity or drug activity in vitro and in vivo setups. And clinical trials means that testing of the medicines in human, right? And post-marketing, the post-clinical trial or post-marketing trial or pharmacoepidemiological research is the research where you can search, you can opt for the best available medicine for the market, and you can do things like comparative research analysis and observational trials and other trials which will be useful. So I think once you will enter in the profession, you will get the idea about that. But the research pharmacist is also important. So people who want to go in the research is also having a lot of scope. And we know that our country is a developing country, and there is an enormous scope of research and development in every sector, and in pharmacy sector as well. There's a lot of scope. And another thing is about the about the regulatory bodies. you can work in regulatory body offices. Talking about the regulatory bodies, I think these three things, right? One is academics and practice and research. All these things has to be regulated by some regulatory bodies. And for the academics, Nepal Pharmacy Council will regulate the academic institutions. They are the statutory bodies or having enforcing bodies which will take care of that, and you can have some scope in the regulatory aspect on that. And in the practice related sides, practice industry pharmacy, community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, and clinical pharmacy, if it is right, these are regulated by the Department of Drug Administration, DDA, and you will have some scope in the DDA office, so. And again, the research activities is regulated by the NHRC, National Health Research Council, this which is the one of the part of the health ministry, division of the health ministry. And this in NHRC office also, I think some pharmacists are working, and there is some scope or there is some quota for the pharmacist. So so you think that now that there are 4 domains that where we want to work it, or I don't know how much you are interested in this field, or I don't know how much I can I was able to explain to you. If you still want some query and all these things, you can put some raised questions. I'm always available to answer your queries. But again, what I'm telling is that all these scopes that I talked was focused for the new aspirants, new students who want to pursue a career in the pharmacy. Thank you for listening.